Okay, so this is just a very short video on the opening 16 bars of the Haydn Symphony Number 104, the opening of the first movement. So much that we can pack in to these first 16 bars, so I thought it deserved a video on its own. I think the important thing is that there needs to be two really differing styles in this opening. We've got the kind of brassy fanfare where everybody's doing the same thing on those chords, yeah, bum, 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 that stuff, that then gives way to this more lyrical, slightly chromatic, slightly mysterious element before returning to the chords again. So we've got to make sure we have those two big, differing musical styles, which obviously is going to be done by the dynamics and the articulation and how we're smoother and more lyrical in the softer sections. But I think vibrato plays a really big part here. That actually those chords at the start and in bar 7 and 8 and in bar 14 have to be different in that sense as well, in that there should be no vibrato on them. I think if we're doing that on top of everything else, it's just another thing that is going to separate it off from the beautiful, mysterious stuff that happens after that. So I think we all got to make sure that it really is this very direct sound, and we're not really trying to make it sound very nice. It needs to be that real declamatory sound that we're going for. So remember at the end of those chords as well, there's just a quaver, and then it kind of crashes into the next one. The first two bars, I think we can probably afford to take a little bit longer on the pause than we perhaps have done in some rehearsals. So you'll get 3, 4. Bum, bum, ba bum, 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 ba bum, beam, bum. So it's just keeping that flow into the following bars. I think it's just one of those things of doing it lots and getting our heads out of copies, me getting my head up and locking in with people just to really make sure we're on the same foot there. But importantly, no vibrato on that, and that'll be great. When we hit the lyrical sections, it's a bit more broad. That's great as well. The vibrato can come back in. I think first violins on that entry that you get in the third bar can often be a little bit loud. So I think very wispy and just ya da dum bum. Very nonchalant and just thrown away is good. The people that follow that in the second violins, violas, cellos in the fourth bar, you can actually just crescendo through that second beat into the third and fourth beats. You're that kind of organ accompaniment that's just broadening before the ya da dum, that's just kind of growing before the first violins take over with the ya da dum dum. And we should always be shaping away at the end of the bar. So even though you're just growing into that third beat, just be backing off by the fourth beat, so that you can do the same in the following bars. Bar 6, I think, is really important for all of us not to slow down, so that there doesn't become any uncertainty of where the quavers are being placed on the third and fourth beats. So we can immediately remove that by just keeping the flow going. And actually that makes it nice then that bars 7 and 8 come as more of a shock. We're not actually going to try and preempt something happening on those third and fourth beats of bar 6. It's just going to appear in bar 7. Ya da dum, dee dee dum, deem, boom. Yeah, that'll be a real shock factor. And but do make sure though that on the third and fourth beats of bar 6 that we diminuendo away. So that's the risk, obviously, that if we get softer, we slow down. But if it gets softer and just keeps flowing, then we've got that. Quavers off in bar 7 and 8 we've talked about. That's great. And then the same thing again in the first. Ya da dum. It's great. Where is that thing again into bar second half of bar 11 we think something's happening but then it doesn't. So second half of bar 11, really make sure, particularly the chords underneath in the seconds and downwards, you can grow through that, so that then that's that sudden pianissimo really in bar 12. Be da dum dum, ya da dum dum dee. That's going to be really good. Of course, cellos there, you've got that liberty though, that actually your key. So enjoy that moment in 12. Obviously, you're not going to be coming crashing through the texture, but the important people there. So not too soft. Going into bar 13, there's this lovely crunch on the B flat and the A in the violins, which then the second violins resolve onto your G quaver in bar 13. So you're really key. We want to make sure we're going for that crunch. Again, into the end of 13 on those third and fourth beats, just making sure that those are not slowing, even though they dynamically need to get softer, so that when you hit bar 14, it's still strictly in time, but then the dynamic can change obviously quite drastically to get you to forte. 12, 13, 14, bar 15, piano, but growing through that lovely warmth, rich sound that we're after again on those third and fourth beats. And again, there's just a little bit of placement, isn't there, going into before the bar, before the allegro. I think it's just one of those areas, like the very beginning, that we just get used to doing it as much as we can, and heads out of copies, and me catching eyes just to make sure that we ya da dum dum, ya da dum bum. I'm giving both quavers in the oboe there. People underneath it with a crotchet on that final beat in the second violins and the violas. It's just watching for the off at the end of the bar. So it's 1 dee da dum dum, ya da dum dum. Just really took it away. I mean, that final crotchet seconds and violas is very, very soft. That's a snapshot of that opening. I think above all, if you have those, if we're really going for those two different musical styles, then we'll get exactly what we're after.